Welcome back. The Day of Solidarity took place this past Saturday, and many hope this will be a catalyst for change.
As officials were preparing for that day, we caught up with a lifelong Hoosier. He has served as an attorney, a prosecutor, a Secretary of State, and now the 49th mayor of Indianapolis.
Here is News 8's Gutierrez Winfrey as Mayor Joe Hogsett shares his reflections on standing together.
We're doing this Day of Solidarity. We're all in this together. As a mayor, what do you think about all these kind of groups coming together for something like this?
You know, I think it's fantastic for our city. It's long overdue and much needed. You know, to have corporate partners like Lilly and Cummins and Anthem step forward to make a commitment to the community, and we as a city joining in partnership with them, I think can make the fundamental change that so many people in Indianapolis are demanding. A reform of the systemic racism that has kept our communities of color impoverished and disempowered.
Do you think it's important that these conversations are spreading across the state, across the country? How valuable is it to see these conversations finally happening?
Yeah, I think that, as I said earlier, they're long overdue conversations, but they are needed now more than ever before. You know, the unfortunate circumstances up in Minneapolis really catalyzed the nation. It's not just an Indianapolis issue, it's a national issue, but Indianapolis can take a leadership role, and with the support of companies like Lilly, Cummins, and Anthem, in collaboration with the city administration and, frankly, other advocacy organizations throughout our community, we can make the change. The first thing I think it's important to do is listen. But then, after you have listened and communicated, then you must act. And your deeds will be the change that is long overdue for our city.
We hear from a lot of different mayors, and sometimes, you know, we have mayors who may not be as vocal or not willing to want to get involved. You've been kind of at the forefront of all of this. Why was it so important for you to be a political voice or a community voice to all that's going on?
Well, because Indianapolis actually has a history of being a city that values peaceful community relationships. We're in a park. We celebrate in a park today that is sacred to our city, because on a night when the country was in upheaval at the tragic assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy stood on that flatbed truck not more than 100 yards from here and calmed the community's concerns. And Indianapolis was one of the only places in the country that experienced no violence that evening. Unfortunately, now violence has come to our city, and that's why I've tried to take a preeminent leadership role in making sure that we remain calm, that we remain peaceful, that we protect peaceful protests as the Constitution provides, while at the same time discouraging any kind of violence or looting or vandalism. We want to remain a community that stands for peace, but we also want to be a community that stands up for all of our residents, not just some.
Our We Stand Together series will continue to air all this week on News 8 at 10 o'clock.
And you can see all of our profiles online right now at wishtv.com.